Happy New Year! This is a special preview edition of HBM's Crypto-Corner for Season 2. I want to thank y'all, first of all, very much for tuning in during 2015. You guys are great. You guys rock. Second of all, I'm going to be committed to doing more crypto stories. You can probably hear people setting off fireworks around here because it's just after midnight, January 1st, 2016. Anyway, this is a special preview episode, so we're about to get this party started. A new article debuted last week about the possibility that pre-modern human species may exist in the present day. There were some findings in a place called Maludong, which literally means the Red Deer Cave. Now, this was in China. This was 1989, and this bone was apparently as recent as 14,000 years ago. So, relatively short amount of time. The article also references Dr. Brian Sykes and his study into the DNA, the possible DNA of Yeti and Sasquatch, which was revealed in late 2013 on a 3-part series called Bigfoot Files, which was on one of the channels. It wasn't the BBC, it was another channel in the UK. All in all, a very interesting article and very revealing about other species of human. A recent court case in Iowa has taken a very unusual turn. An individual named Eddie Tipton has been running a lottery scandal fraud in the state of Iowa. He was convicted of fraud, and apparently Iowa prosecutor wants to take a preemptive strike for the Bigfoot defense. Apparently the defendant is a Bigfoot hunter, so very interesting. It seems like the prosecutor is attempting to head off Mr. Tipton as far as utilizing the Bigfoot defense. I just read this stuff, folks. You can't make this stuff up. Back about 3 years ago, actually 2 years ago, a story was released that a mask, a Sasquatch mask, was lost for 75 years. It was only known through photographs, and apparently it was made by the Alice First Nations Reserve in British Columbia. The mask was recently found, but Sharon Hill of Doubtful News has written about this article about the First Nations people referring to the mask as Sasquatch. Ms. Hill writes, the article makes a connection to Sasquatch as described by indigenous people, but I'm not clear how solid that connection is. How do we know that the mask represents the same entity that we now refer to as Sasquatch or Bigfoot, or are we jumping to conclusions? She ends the article with a warning. It's a potential hazard to jump to conclusions and call this a representation of Sasquatch. Well, I would respond by saying that the Native Americans and First Nations have had legends of these creatures for many thousands of years. I mean, we're talking about ancient legends. Now, are they just legends, or could they have some basis in fact? It's entirely possible that they have some basis in fact. But I would challenge Miss Hill to take a very close look at this particular mask. I realize that it is her job to be a skeptic, and I know that she is very much against the idea of this being a Sasquatch mask. Doesn't mean she's not fascinated by the subject, because she is. She wants there to be a Sasquatch. But in her mind, this is not a Sasquatch mask. Although, when you look at it, I mean, what else could it possibly be? I mean, what other creature or human could it possibly be? Because the Native Americans and First Nations, they carved representations of all the animals that we know. So, what else could it be? I mean, that would be my challenge to Miss Hill, with all due respect. Finally, in this special preview edition, an Eastern professor is exploring fanaticism over Bigfoot. There's an upcoming book called Monster Trek: The Obsessive Search for Bigfoot. Actually, it's available now in paperback. The Kindle version will be available on February 1st. But apparently, a professor Joe Gasandi, has written a book about Sasquatch hunters and those investigators and I guess fanatics of Bigfoot. So it looks like a very fascinating book. I may have to pick up myself a copy of it myself. And I know that sounded very awkward. Oh well, I guess it's the excitement of being back and doing the show again. Anyway though, look for a new show with newer stories this upcoming Wednesday, January 6th. I will return. By the way, we want to congratulate all the winners of my Merry Squatchmas Facebook contest. Kip Morrill, Carol Struck, and Angela Ashton, who all each won a copy of the Newsweek special edition on Bigfoot. And I'm going to try and hold another contest around Christmas time of this year, because it's now 2016. So, again, thank you very much for tuning in. And until this Wednesday, y'all be good or be good at it.